Let's do some news of the day for Thanksgiving south of the border. Again, happy Thanksgiving Day. And if anybody's surprised, this jersey's debuting first out of the ones that I received today. You must be new. And I don't have a Nashville part of news to discuss today. I will say this. I'll say this at the start. I've seen the LA Colorado leak of what their stadium jerseys look like. Uh, that there's a lot of empty space on those jerseys, both of them. So I'm waiting until the official reveal from Adidas before I freak out. Adidas did the official reveal of the Bruins jerseys, their new thirds, which made me go, eh. It's just kind of boring, so I didn't see the point in doing a video because I'm like, oh, that's exactly what the leak was. It's just they're okay. They're not fantastic. They're not like last year's Winter Classic, which was awesome. But let's get into news of the day. All right, with this Nashville Winter Classic and all that. Devin Dubnyk, who's missed a couple of games, and it turns out that his wife is dealing with some kind of major health issues, and they're not talking about it. He's not getting into it. So, obviously, this is something that may end up having him miss other time. He may miss more time than he's missed already. And for the Wild, the good news is that Kakkonen looked good in his first start, and Stalock's able to play, so Dubnyk can take whatever time he needs when he needs it. And I don't know what it is with goalies this year. We still see Jacob Markstrom going through what he's going through, and the NHL community supporting him. And the NHL is very good at supporting players who are going through this kind of stuff, but it's just rough to see so many different guys going through tough times. So hopefully whatever's going on with Devin Dubnyk's wife, she's okay soon, and he's playing, and everything's all right. I wanted to also add just some positive here for Canuck fans. Quinn Hughes has 21 points in 25 games. He is 4 points, I believe, behind Makar. 3 or 5 points behind Makar. I would not say that he's having the same level of impact with the Canucks, but it's close as what Makar is having for Colorado. But, Quinn Hughes is the best defensive prospect the Canucks have ever had. They have never had anybody like Quinn Hughes who's been at this level, and it's kind of shocking. So while everybody who wants to decry the Canucks can say what they want about the Ulevy pick, and I understand that, Quinn Hughes has been a home run so far. There was a hit last night by Graves, Ryan Graves, that put Chase on into concussion protocol. I haven't seen any news on that today as to whether or not he's going to be out for a while, whether he's going to play next game. Like, there's nothing. And this is where concussions are just this huge gray area. It's not the same as a knee or an ankle or one of those common injuries that we've known for a very long time. Concussions, we're still learning. They still feel relatively new in that we are still learning more about them all the time, and they don't follow that kind of progression. I'll spit it out, I promise. So hopefully Jason's okay. Sheldon Keefe, I know we've talked about him a lot, and in this time where we're talking about coaches and what they may or may not be able to get away with, the good news out of Toronto is Sheldon Keefe is hitting all the right notes. So they brought back up Michael Hutchinson. Hutchinson apparently has had a meeting with Kyle Dubas, have a talk with him over the last few weeks and how he's been feeling. He's already talked with the coach. And the idea is he's not going to deploy Hutchinson the same as he was deployed before. That we may see him being deployed properly. I did the whole video on how I really didn't think Hutchinson was the problem, that he was the reason why on back-to-backs they had a terrible record. I kind of felt that coaching had a lot to do with it. Well, now the coach has changed, so we'll see how things work out. And he may very well get a start very, very soon here, because Sheldon Keefe wants him to get his confidence back. And with goaltenders, confidence is a huge part of it. They have their confidence. They're just that much better. And coming back to this topic, and I know there's people who don't want to hear about it, but it's still there. It's still hanging around because Bill Peters is still the coach of the Flames. Now, here's where it gets tricky, and I've been, listening and paying a lot of attention to the whole Twitter sphere and what's going on with all of this. So he's likely to meet with the NHL. And the NHL is going to have a chat with him, and they're probably going to have a chat with the Flames. Now, there's a delay in firing him. Now, if they fire him, he's still owed $3.4 million. And they may be trying to find a way around that. There's another problem, too. So we can agree that what he said 10 years ago, yeah, you can't say that. Oh, man, you just can't. I've been at jobs where friends of mine have said things and I've gone, oh, Dad, you can't say that. Now, this is much worse because this is the guy in charge of the team. And what's come out since then is that it went up the chain of command, right? And yet it didn't go anywhere. He didn't get fired from Rockford. Rockford's where he should have been fired for that incident. And then the Carolina stuff comes out where apparently he kicked and punched players. And Rod Brindamore goes, I reported it and it was dealt with at the time. But Peter Karmanos, who was the owner of the Carolina Hurricanes, said, hey, if I had heard about it, he would have been fired in a millisecond. Or nanosecond, I think he said. So there's a lot of layers to this. Questions being asked now of Ron Francis, like, wait, did you know what the coach did? Did you know this had happened? Why didn't you say anything? This is just going to keep blowing up. And we're still waiting on what the Flames are going to do. Because here's the thing. So Bill Peters did these things 10 years ago. Or with Carolina, if you're looking at the kicking punching incident. If they throw that in there. He didn't work for the Flames. These incidents took place before he signed a contract with the Flames. If the Flames just say you're out of here because what we found out, he can sue them for wrongful termination. And this is likely where we're at, is that they're trying to figure out a way to get out of this. He's apparently not been on the charter today. There was some debate about whether or not he would be on the team flight, which was cleared up pretty quick that he would not be on the team flight. And this is still out there. I don't know how long it's going to be out there. They could announce it today. They could just leave it hanging. They could leave him as the official head coach of the Flames for a while other people are coaching the team. And the good news for the Flames last night was they won a game. They won the game. They won it in overtime. And it didn't seem like there were any ill effects. Now, the assistant coach in charge of the team, he also didn't make any large changes, so it was still essentially the team that Peters put together, the lines Peters put together as well. It's a tough situation. And it feels like it gets more and more awkward every day. He's still there. But again, I don't know when this gets fixed. Speaking of conflict, and I should throw in at the end here, Peters did come out yesterday with an apology letter to Tree Living, and a couple of the media as well were sent this letter. Akeem Alou answered it pretty much right away, saying it seemed insincere. He claimed in the letter he wrote that he apologized immediately, that once this was brought to his attention by Jake Dowell, who was the captain, that he came out and he immediately apologized. And that has not been corroborated. And Akeem Alou said that he actually doubled down on it and that he didn't apologize. So there's a lot of players right now who played on that team that are going to end up getting dragged into this that don't want to be. And yeah, this just keeps getting stickier. Anyways, on to other conflicts. At practice yesterday, Max Domi and Victor Mete got into it. And Claude Julien said that's a good sign that this team is sick of losing, and that this is a good thing. And we've seen this before. Teams struggling, you see a fight at practice, you see arguments at practice, guys going at each other. It's a standard thing. How they react to it, what happens afterwards, that's the big question, and that's where you find out what your team is made of. So the Montreal Canadiens are in the midst of finding that out. We'll see tonight against the Devils, and then they have a game on Friday as well. We'll see how that goes. Or on Saturday. They have a game on Saturday. Get thrown off. So there's one game today, so part of me's going. So it's Wednesday today. But yeah, Claude Julien thinks this is going to be a good thing for the team. Anders Nilsson's going to be starting tomorrow. Högberg is likely starting on Saturday for the Ottawa Senators, as Craig Anderson is out of the lineup. They're not saying for how long or what's going on, just he's out. However, Anisimov and Nemesnikov are supposedly coming back really soon. Very likely their next game. So Ottawa getting healthy. They've sent Virano back down to the American Hockey League. And yeah, you wouldn't know that they'd necessarily been unhealthy because it really hasn't negatively impacted them a whole lot. They've had a very well coached team that plays the system very, very well, and it doesn't seem to matter who's playing or not playing Ottawa. It's been an impressive little run they've been on. And keep in mind, they were 2 games below 500. So through 25 games, they're still on pace for 74, 75 points, something like that. So they're not setting the world on fire. I'm just impressed with how well they've played considering the lineup they have and just how well they're playing their systems. It's fun to watch. Last note of the day, Calvin Pickard's been called up as Howard was hurt last night. And, of course, Jonathan Bernier playing hurt, 37 saves on 40 shots. Star of the night for me. He looked good in what he was tasked with doing, and the Leafs thinking, well, nobody's had any mercy for us. Sorry, Bernier, we're not going to have any mercy for you either. They did have a little bit of mercy in that third period, it felt. But anyways, Pickard's been called up. We'll see if he gets a game or two while Howard's out. Howard, it looked kind of like a knee, or it could have been a groin. I don't know. It was an awkward play, but he couldn't stand up. So I'm going to go ahead and say groin muscle, something along those lines. And we'll see how long he's out. So there you go. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.